Okay, let's start today's sortie video. Now, today is going to be a bit more of a serious topic. And unlike yesterday, it's actually going to stay a serious topic. It's sort of serious. It's iffy. It's iffy. But what is it going to be, you might ask? What could it possibly be? It is going to be self-confidence. Now say it with me, y'all. Self-confidence. I'm not making fun of everyone. I am doing it for sheer fun, the accent I was just doing. Just so we are aware.
I need access to a terminal. Find one and pass terminal spotted.
This is like a problem that like a ton of people have. I genuinely don't understand fully. Honestly, like I've never really had this problemo. So for me, it was always like, okay, get over it. And then other people are like, it's just not that easy, man. I'm like, well, why? And that was really just like my mindset. Like, are you sure? Because I feel as if it's easier than what you're saying it is. And then they're all like, no, man, no. But yeah, like a lot of people like have a lot of issues with their self-image and like so on and so forth. And what the hell? And like, what was the main topic? To be completely honest, was like self-esteem. I went with that instead, just because it's like kind of like a mixture of what we're saying. But where like a lot of people will just have issues with how they look and like so on and so forth, and I'm just like, why? And honestly, like a lot of time it just deals with like other people, either like just someone making fun of them or something along those lines. And I'm not one of those like big people who's like, oh, you need to stop bullying and all that blah blah blah. I'm just like, okay, yes, but some people are just mean, so they're gonna bully. Like, yeah, like I understand it's mean. It's not like it's nice. I'm not saying that, but at the same time, like, just it's not just gonna stop. And a lot of times, like, I just genuinely don't care. Like, I have my own opinion, and I think everyone can have their own opinion, but if your opinion is that I look bad, okay. Why do I need to do anything about that? Like, everyone sees things through, like, a different angle, so honestly, like, as long as you're happy with at least your angle, that's all that really matters, in a sense. Now, I'm not saying that you should never try to, improve yourself, because I am always for, like, self-improvement. Like, currently, I don't work out, okay, I don't ever go to the gym or anything along those lines. I've always thought it was a waste of time. It was just stupid. I've never really felt like being a huge muscly person was needed or necessary at all. And like same with like the whole guy stereotype and like girl stereotype of being like insanely skinny, and like the guy stereotype of being a muscle mania. I guess it's not really like stereotype, it was like what the preferred image is, I guess, in some people's heads. Yeah, and I've never like really agreed with any of those. And because of that, I've never really considered working out to be any big deal or necessary in the slightest. I guess because of that, I've never really went to any gyms or anything like that, not really thinking. Now, I luckily do have like a or high metabolism. So, I've never really been, I've been chunky, but I've never really been, like, fat. Now my own definition of that is, like, kind of varies, because I think it's, really isn't what, like, a lot of other people will consider. Like, my one sister will always like call herself fat, and was like, no, you are not. What dimension are you living in?
Continue to defend.
And just like things like that. Gosh darn it. So, just like, yeah, that was like a bit off topic with the whole fat thing. But, so yeah, like, I've never really agreed with that, so I've never really cared about going to the gym. But like more recently, because I do want to be like a bit stronger, not because of like what anyone else has to say, or like as I was saying, like with like the general, what people generally consider attractive and stuff like that, is usually like a more muscly type person. It's just because I want to improve myself. It's because like now, it's like I look in the mirror, and like everyone always does, and I look and I think, huh, you know, I wouldn't mind if I was a wee bit stronger. And that's really it. It's not like, oh man, I'm out of shape, I hate the way I look, things like that. Like, that's just, you're just trying to put yourself down. And because of that, I've always just been like, okay, I guess like I could probably work on my strength a little bit. Maybe try to work with the. I don't really have like a gut, but I have like a wee little bit of a belly, as I said. I'm not like chunky nor fat, but I am like a little bit there. um, Whatever the heck it's called. But I've never really cared. Well, I don't really care, but like at the same time, it's like, I would definitely like, I could do something about this. Like, I don't really need to, but why, why not? And like, that's what I mean by like self-improvement. Like, if you want to improve yourself, like, go ahead. But at the same time, like, you gotta have higher self-esteem. Like, you have to think of yourself and not just be like, ugh, I hate what I see. Now, yeah, that can encourage like self-improvement, but at the same time, like, it can also encourage a lot of like sadness and depression. I don't know why I said that like really weirdly. So I'm just like, oh okay. And like the people around me like talking about things with their personality or their body, and I'm just like, why does it matter? And it's like, well, because of blah blah blah. I'm just like, and that matters why? And then just like, because of these people. I'm just like, and that matters why? And it's just like, you gotta have like more confidence in yourself, like self-confidence, self-esteem, like really go hand in hand. And like, yeah, like you just gotta like really trust yourself and not just look down upon yourself like ever. As I've already said, like, I've never really had. Oh, it's a melee only. I've never really had. Excuse me? I've never really had any
Alarms have been reset.
problems, like, personally.
Be on the lookout for increased security measures.
Like with how I look and like so on and so forth. But at the same time, as I was already explaining, like, I have had moments where I'm just like, huh, I could improve from what I'm at currently, and I just want to do that just on like a whim, not really because I need to or anything like that. And I do think, like, to a point, like, you should look at yourself and be like, wow, I do need to change. Like, I've always said that if like I hit this point with this or this or this, then I will force myself to change. Now, am I saying that like change is 100% necessary for everyone and everything? No. Is it like nice to do? Yes. God dang it.
You've triggered the alarms.
Shoot.
Data and the mission will be a complete failure. Heads up. A Grenier assault team is
Let me move. Let me move.
You've triggered the alarms. Lose this data and the mission will be a complete failure.
Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Sorry about that. I got off topic real fast because of triggering the alarms. Triggering the alarms, apparently. But just like, yeah, I always say that like you just need to look at yourself or in like a mirror or whatever and just think like, why do I think this way? How can I fix that? Now, I've never really had to do that, but at the same time I've never really had the problem. And I just think like in general, like people always think of themselves pretty lowly and things like that. Like especially with like teenagers and so on and so forth. But I am a teenager. I've never really cared. Honestly, like I think that like part of the reason might be with like social media and all that jazz, because you're getting like the opinion. Really, no one went there? Did someone just like leave?
You've been seen. The target console is nearby. If you trigger the alarms now, the enemy will start destroying data. Alarms successfully hacked.
Oh
Location
god,
is
it's a
returning to
parkour
normal
one.
security levels.
But and like I've never really thought. Son of a. I've never really thought of myself as like lower or anything like that. Like I've never really thought of like been a really cocky person. And okay, I am pretty cocky, but I've never been like I am the alpha and omega of everything and everyone. Like I've never been like that super cocky person. It's like yeah, I'm awesome. Always bragging about my accomplishments, and I've never really been like, oh man, I'm terrible. Like as I said, like I don't really fully get the topic because I've never really been in direct, like I've never experienced it myself. Which I guess like I am probably, I don't want to say like, I guess sort of privileged to like never have it. And I think it's more along the lines of like my mindset, because like when I was really younger, um I always like kind of was angry with other people and not really myself. Um like I was super shy, but like I never really thought of my shyness as anything bad or something like that. Like looking back on it now, it wasn't the greatest, that's for sure, but it still wasn't really bad.
Excellent work, Tenno.
Like we had 4 people. Where the heck did the last guys go? But like I didn't think of my sinus and be like, oh man, I'm less than such and such. And like even in what's it called? In high school, I was on the golf team for my school, and I was like their lowest to second lowest performer. Honestly, like I was bad. Um, and that's really it. Like I flat out I was not good at golf. Like some people are. Honestly, in my personal opinion, it is one of the most difficult stinking sports. Like you need precision, you need skill, you need all this stuff. It's very difficult. Like yeah, you don't get hit like in football, but honestly, besides that, like golf requires a decent amount, and to get like truly good at it, you need to practice like every single day. And I wasn't about to put in that work, so I was fully aware. But like I didn't really I knew I was the worst. Like you do need to like acknowledge your faults. I'm not saying that like be like, oh yeah man, like to have high self-esteem, you need to always think of yourself as like the best, and even if someone's better than you, like they're not. Like no, you do need to acknowledge your faults. You need to acknowledge like who is good. You just need to not think of yourself as less because of it. Like, I knew I wasn't good. I knew that all the other people were better. And I thought, okay, instead of just being like, oh man, I'm terrible, I was like, oh, they're better. um, it's like, huh, these guys are better than me. Okay. And then, like, even with, like, the people that play, like, football and all those, and all the other sports, I was always just like, okay. They're very athletic and I'm not. That's really it. And, like, I never thought of, like, oh, man, I'm not as cool as these people. I'm just not as good as these people in general. Why? Just because they play football and I don't. They're really athletic and I'm not. They're good at sports and I'm not. Like, I've never really thought things like that. And then, like, what the hell? And then, like, even when it comes to, like, playing games, like, yeah, I definitely complain about, like, this, that, these, and those. But at the same time, I'm not, like... And, like, yeah, I realize that I'm not a challenger player. I realize that I am not that good. But at the same time, I haven't been, like, insanely depressed out of my mind about being where my skill level is, and I'm, like, working to improve. Same with, like, YouTube and everything. Like, I realize I do not have a big following base. And, like, instead of just thinking, oh, man, like, I really need things to... I must not be good at this for whatever reason, which I don't think I'm honestly that good at this. I just think, okay, well, you know, like, time and effort. Like, I just need to improve. That's the main thing. And, like, I'll always be, like, a pretty big, like, advocate for, as I was saying, like, earlier, for, like, self-improvement. Like, if you don't like the fact that you're this, and this, then, like, try to improve. And if it's something that, like, you can't physically change, like, in any natural way, then don't do it. Like, or you just need to, like, your mindset needs to be changed. Like, I don't know, let's say, I don't want to, like, say, like, a breaking of a limb, because, like, that you kind of can get through to an extent. Like, let's say you completely shatter your leg, and, like, you were a big track star, and, like, you'll be able to walk and run again, but never as fast as you could before. Like, yeah, obviously the hard work and effort, you'll be able to improve that to an extent, but, like, you'll never really get it back to the point you were before. And, like, if you're sad about that, like, yeah, you can be sad, but you need to realize, which I think that dabbles into something else besides self-esteem, though, but you need to realize that, like, yeah, you can't really do anything about that. And you just need to, like, make the most out of the situation that you have been put in. Like, even if it sucks, you need to make the most out of the situation. Sorry, but yeah. But then for, like, the people that just, like, think little of themselves for, like, no reason, or because, like, one person said something bad about them, you just, like, you yourself need to realize, I like this about myself. If they don't like that, then that's on them, because I like it. If you don't like it, then either try to change it, or... My goodness.
They won't be bothering us anymore. Let's get out of here.
Okay. Sorry about that. Family charged in. But... And, like, yeah, no, I'm not saying you need to change everything about yourself. And if you don't like everything about yourself, then, like, there's a bit of a problem. Like, that is your mindset. Like, you're the one that needs to kind of, like, change your mindset. You need to think of, like, the positives with yourself and associate them with the negatives, or try to improve the negatives. If you think everything is negative, then you can attempt to improve everything, but I don't think that's a good idea, and I would try to find either a common ground or acceptance with things that you associate as negative. Okay, but that has been this sortie video. I thank you all very much for watching, and I bid you all adieu. Goodbye.